All right. Hello, guys. Hello, guys. Let's go live. Let's go live. We are about to have a look into some important economic data. So, just preparing everything now. Yes, we're ready. We're ready with the data. Dropping it in the Platinum group. Here we go. Hello, X-Tech developer. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? How are you doing? Let me know. Also, let me have a look in my X profile. When was the latest tweet about the PCE? Okay, let's also just post the link here. Let's do it like that. And there we go. Just post the link. Boom. And let's see. Let's go live. Because yes, guys, we have some economic data again. And economic data, if you've been watching me for a longer time, you obviously already know that economic data is going to be pretty important. Always you see a lot of volatility once economic data like this is going to be getting released. And this will be the most important economic data we will once again get until the FOMC meeting. So yeah, another rate cut is going to be expected. But a lot can still change with probabilities. A lot can still change with the odds. Right now we're seeing an 89% probability, or wait, let me refresh the page and let me get new accurate data. So yeah, 87% probability of seeing another interest rate cut. We are about to see that rate cut then in 5 days' time. But potentially, depending on the data, I do not think it will be changing that much, but depending on the data, it could change. Depending on the core PCE data that we will get right now, it will change. And also, talking about some inflation stuff, like there's going to be a lot that I want to be going over for today's live stream. A lot of alpha, a lot of important things we need to have a look into. But for example, whenever we have a look into the Trueflation, the US inflation index, well, I can only have a look into the yearly time frame, but right here we can start to see that it is starting to decrease again ever so slightly. Now it depends how you want to have a look into it, because you can argue we're still in a downtrend for the US inflation. You can also argue, oh, right now in the shorter time frames, we're definitely starting to trade in an uptrend again. However, for me, I mean, there's going to be two camps, right? There's going to be camps that will say, oh, because of the tariffs that Trump has introduced, probably we're going to be seeing a prolonged period of further inflation, okay? But there's also going to be a camp of people that will say, yeah, because of these high interest rates for such a long time, probably we're still going to be seeing a decreasement in inflation. And I do believe that we're still going to be seeing another leg to the downside in inflation, which actually is going to be the perfect storm. So I do believe that the general trend for the inflation will be to the downside, and I do think that that is going to be very bullish for the markets. Now it kind of depends, because you have people thinking and believing that lower inflation is going to be bullish, and then at the same time also higher inflation is going to be bullish because your assets are getting inflated quite literally. So it's going to be a little bit of a double-edged sword. But I do think at this current moment, lower inflation is still more bullish, because lower inflation will cause us to see more interest rate cuts, which is still what the market wants, to see. So whenever we will see lower inflation, that is going to be bullish. Lower inflation than expected. So if we have a look into the data, we have over here the PCE price index year on year. The previous one was 2.7%, and consensus and forecast is 2.8%. So anywhere lower than 2.8%, I think would be generally expected to be bullish, right? Anything higher than 2.8%, well, then we're still seeing kind of higher inflation, and that's going to be bearish, in my personal opinion. And I do think that if we are going to be seeing this period of deflation again, or inflation cooling down, that's going to be ultimately very bullish because the labor market is quite literally weakening and inflation is cooling off. And that is kind of the perfect storm for the Fed to go into an easing cycle again and to start cutting the rates again a little bit more to stimulate the labor market, strengthen and boost in the labor market. And they have that wiggle room. They have that, like, literally wiggle room for further continued inflation again later. So they are not going to be scared to be cutting rates because we are already seeing quite low inflation. So they're not going to be scared to be cutting rates to strengthen the labor market if we see lower inflation, right? So I think this is actually going to be the perfect storm that we're seeing now, with inflation actually going to the downside, with the labor market weakening still. I think this is the perfect storm which we are seeing right now. Maybe not for that imminent short term, but definitely for that long term, this is definitely going to be the perfect storm. Yes, maybe in a shorter time frame, we can still see recessionary data. We can still see pushes to the downside. We can still see fear and panic in the markets. We can still see some black swan events coming out and that being the narrative for a big push to the downside. We can see all of that. But for the long term, what we're seeing now, so for the ultra long term in a span of 1 to 2 years time frame, right? This is going to be the perfect recipe again. This is going to be the perfect storm again. This is going to be the exact 4-year cycle theory, which is playing out again with bear market right over here, rate cuts, stimulating in the economy, then seeing the big push to the upside again, big bull market. Then again, going to the downside, seeing a weaker economy, seeing panic and fear across the markets, going into somewhat of a more stimulated economy, right? We didn't see any rate cuts during this cycle right over here. We didn't see any fat balance sheet increasement, but definitely the economy was very strong during this time right over here. Now, it is the same exact cycle again. I mean, right now, we might be seeing a little bit more fear, a little bit more worry in the markets, in the world, uncertainty in the world. Like you can also see with gold, for example, pumping massively to the upside. I mean, it is not without any kind of a reason. So a little bit more of prolonged uncertainty, but ultimately, all of the things which we are seeing right now are just going to be leading for a bigger bull market further down the line. I mean, it's going to be inevitable. It is going to be imminent. So inevitably, it doesn't really matter. I just want to be accumulating more Bitcoins, and I'm just going to be taking it as a gift in disguise. I'm just going to be really going to be grateful for opportunities to be able to accumulate at lower levels. I'm going to be grateful for that opportunity myself. Is the data released yet? No, it's not released yet. It will be getting released in 24 minutes. And basically, all that I'm saying, if I'm going to be summarizing it, is that, yeah, we will need to have a look into the data. It will be important for the macroeconomics and for the long-term direction of where the market is going to be heading towards. Now, to very simply put it, anywhere lower than the 2.8%, this data, which we will be seeing, anywhere lower than the 2.8%, I think I would classify to be bullish, because for the long term, we want lower inflation rate, because that is going to be setting up the Fed for a perfect storm, for an easing cycle again, for stimulating the economy again. So we want lower inflation rate. Now also, by the way, one thing that I will say is that if we're still going to be seeing higher inflation and higher inflation and higher inflation, well, the Fed is going to be less incentivized to be headed for an easing cycle, right? So if that happens, if we will see a longer period of higher inflation than expected, a scenario like this, like we have seen in 2019, it's only going to be more likely and more likely. So, for example, that has happened right over here. Okay, it's only going to be more likely where we're going to be headed for a bit of a bear market. We see a recovery to the upside again. Everybody thinks, it's going to be okay again. We're going to be headed for a bull market again. And then we see a black swan event. Something big breaks in the economy. And then we see the massive easing cycle and we enter that bull market. I mean, if we see prolonged periods of higher inflation, I think this scenario will be increasingly more likely to play out again. Okay, if we see lower than expected inflation, I think we will just see a normal kind of bear market, normal kind of boring bear market. We will be headed for a bull market again. We will see a nice cycle. But some more normal price action. I mean, if we see longer, higher inflation, then I think we will get like a black swan event where something needs to break down, needs to crash down all of the markets, and then head for the easing cycle again. So yeah, it kind of depends, right? That is why these numbers are very important to be having a look into. And I mean, you also need to have a look into it with your own thoughts, right? You need to decide yourself whether the data that we're going to be getting is actually bullish or bearish. Now, in that short time frame, I can see that on the 5-minute time frame, we're seeing a bit of a dump to the downside now. Today, we have been dumping ever so slightly to the downside. I mean, for me, it's going to be all right. Because whenever I zoom out on like the 4-hour, like I've mentioned on my videos, this is really going to be the first time where we literally switch a downtrend structure into somewhat of an uptrend, right? I mean, we did create a higher low. We did create a higher high again. So this is definitely going to be bullish. Now, also still keep in mind that in that longer time frame, we are still technically trading more in a downtrend, okay? And if we do still grab the lows over here, like I've mentioned in my videos, if we do grab these lows over here with a bullish divergence, just like, for example, we have seen right over here, I will be getting interested in opening up a trading position and trading it back to the upside again. Just like we have also been doing right over here. We have been bullish exactly at these periods right over here. Well, if we're going to be seeing a similar scenario playing out again, with maybe if data is going to be coming in bad today, we can maybe see a bit of a push to the downside, which is going to be a very good setup for us to be opening up a long position. And I'll definitely be very interested in that. I would honestly love to see this playing out and us opening up a long position again at these ultimately good levels. So it would be absolutely lovely to see that playing out. Also at the other side, if we would already pump towards these levels right over here, well, I'm going to be getting interested in opening up some short positions if we do see the right triggers in the market. So if we see weakness, if we do not see any kind of a bullish, extremely bullish narrative or use case or news, okay, if we do not see that, if we see just some bullshit news pushing us to the upside, people getting overhyped again, etc., etc., if we see the right triggers, I'll be opening up a short position from off that level, okay? If we see the right triggers, I'll be opening up a long position from off this level. So it's just if, first of all, we will reach these levels, then I'll have a look into the right triggers, and then I'll be opening up my position. Now, if you want to stay up to date about that, by the way, make sure to be subscribed to my YouTube channel. Very important, obviously. I do think most of you guys are subscribed. And also, yeah, join the Platinum group and also the Limited group. And then you'll be up to date about everything. Also, follow me over on X. And the best place to be joining me on these trades will be over on 2bit. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that you can be claiming some amazing big bonuses, some big rewards. And also, they're going to be hosting a holiday bonus bash, which is also pretty interesting to be checking out. I mean, 2bit is hosting great rewards. Also, a 20% trading fee discount right now. So, yeah, that's very valuable to be checking out if you're interested in that. Anyways, guys, we are live right now with 50 people and we have 10 likes. Can we maybe push up the like buttons a little bit further? That would really be appreciated. I mean, I'm doing these live streams for free over here and I'm not earning a single cent from these live streams. I mean, it's literally zero. It's so if you would press up that like button, it would really be appreciated. Because maybe it does help boost the algorithm a little bit. And if it does, well, then it would help me out a lot. Hello, Mr. Crypto. Welcome to the stream. So, hooray to quantitative easing. Maybe we will see the real alt season. This cycle, we didn't see any. Yeah, I do agree. Next cycle, if we are indeed going to be seeing that like easing cycle, right, with lower interest rates again, with quantitative easing, if we're going to be seeing all of these things, it is again going to be setting us up for the perfect storm, and that is just going to be beautiful. It's going to be setting us up for the perfect environment, and I'd honestly love to see that. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited for that. We just need to be staying a little bit more patient. And that is also one thing that I want to be saying. Because maybe a lot of people are leaving the crypto space now. In my last live stream, I've also did this. I have shown my exact YouTube stats. I've shown of the metrics over here. If I go to my analytics. Dennis Feathers in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for the live stream. Who is Dennis Feathers? I'm not sure. But like you can see over here, 90% of the crypto space has already kind of left the space. So the only thing you need to do is just stay, okay? And you're already doing better than 90% of the crypto folks. I mean, that's quite interesting. And then if you just stick around, probably during the next cycle, we're going to be seeing that perfect storm with lower interest rates, with quantitative easing, with a lot of these weak retail hands shaken out of the space. And I mean, it's just going to be repeating exactly again, like it has always been repeating. The same exact thing is just going to be repeating again, all over again. So I'm very excited for that myself. One thing that I do want to say is just stick around, because then, I mean, I cannot guarantee anything. I cannot give financial advice or anything related to that, right? But all I can say for me and my experience is just that if you stick around during a bear market like that, you're just going to be making it. You're just going to be profiting a lot from it. You got it, man. Let's go. Welcome to the stream, Harman, and also many I liked. Thank you a lot for that. With the bulk of investments coming from institutions, I'm not sure if we will see all seasons like previous cycles. I mean, it will maybe be a little bit different, but I do still think that we are going to be seeing FOMO. We will still see retail inflow. I mean, it's not that retail just completely left and is not alive anymore, that they're dead. I mean, it's just that if retail has a little bit more money again, if we're going to be headed for an easing cycle, etc., and if a new narrative gets formed for crypto, well, then obviously we are going to be seeing some heavy speculation in some industries, in some fields in crypto. I mean, you will always see it returning. For example, last cycle as well. I mean, you have it in the slightest things as well, right? Because last cycle we had NFTs. This cycle we had meme coins. I mean, still in that case, we still did see a narrative, and we did see a huge opportunity for money to be made. So do you feel a rally coming? What would invalidate the relief rally? Honestly, I do not think that anything would really invalidate a relief rally, because like I've said many times, nothing ever will go up in a straight line, and nothing ever will go down in a straight line, okay? Even while we were trading in an exceptional bull market, very bullish bull market, we still saw 30% corrections on the way down, and then still went to the upside again. So even if we are trading in a bear market, right, maybe we will go down a lot, right? Maybe we will even take out this low over here, but a relief rally is going to be inevitable. And a bounce back to the 50 weekly moving average, I do think is going to be very inevitable. We have seen it every single cycle. And for me, it doesn't really matter, because if we will not see this relief rally, it is not that I myself am stuck in some big positions, okay? It's more for me that if we see that relief rally, I can be profiting a little bit more from that. I can be opening up a short position. And if we are going to be headed even lower, and we will not see that relief rally, well, then still I can be accumulating Bitcoin at cheaper prices. So I'll be benefiting from that myself as well. So what is going to be an invalidation for the relief rally? I do not really see an invalidation. because also because inevitably nothing goes up in a straight line forever. Nothing goes down in a straight line forever. You always see counter trend rallies. You always see like like I just said, basically. um, looks like the Bitcoin charts. Like which chart do you mean? Bitcoin about to slam down through that moon boy gap. Which gap do you mean? Just someone that watches your update. Well, welcome to the stream, my man, Dennis Feathers. Welcome from Abu Dhabi. Great to have you in here. Great to have you in here. Are you in Abu Dhabi right now for the current event for Formula One, etc.? It's absolutely lovely. I'll be going to F1 myself as well. This is Sunday, so yeah, really excited for that as well. There are some great events hosted right now in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. It's absolutely amazing. Of the hospitality that is here. So yeah, let me know if you're here for the events or if you live in Abu Dhabi. Is there maybe 5.6k for Bitcoin? You mean 5.6k? I mean, I do not think so. I do not think we will go to 5.6k ever again. I do not think that Bitcoin will be dropping down below the 30k ever again. And that's still quite of a low target, right? Because most people say, Bitcoin will never go below the 50k. But for me, I do think we can drop down below the 50k again. Okay, if we are indeed going to be seeing history being repeated again, I do believe we can see levels below the 50k. So yeah, let's see about that, right? I do not think we will go down below the 30k. In all cash, ready to either buy a genuine dip or I'll just watch it rip. Should be interesting. I mean, yeah, and if you're in cash, you can easily adapt. You can easily reevaluate. If we do decide to break back above the 50 weekly moving average, and we do indeed see confirmations for a strong trend, shift, right? If we see real demand, if we see still people being skeptical, but good news and a good narrative being entered in the crypto space, well, then you can easily re-enter at the break back above the 50 weekly moving average, right? So yeah, if you're in cash, I mean, I'm also mostly in cash. I'm just chilling, right? I'm just chilling. I've never felt so, how do you call it? Like this low amount of stress in such a long while, because throughout the entire bull market, I've always been in the bull market. I've always been in positions. I've always held spot. I've always been in crypto throughout the entire bull market. And right now, just not. Right now, I'm like relaxed. So relaxed. Because also in the worst case scenario, if we go up even more, well, it's going to be fine with me. It's going to be fine with me if we break back above the 50 week. I can easily get a new good entry again. 4 great words, and this time is different. Well, one thing that I can tell you is this time usually will not be different. Yeah, man, finished your dinner you already ate before the live stream. How do you know, man? I just literally ate right before the live stream. How do you know? Did you maybe deliver my food today? I'm not sure. Maybe you know me. I don't know. Xtech Def. Retail. By the way, in 8 minutes time we will see the data. So make sure to stick in the stream, and in just a few minutes time I'm gonna summarize everything again. So make sure to stick around. Just gonna be answering some questions right now. Retail did come back for a few weeks in November, December, exactly. Briefly, because people were making money in alts. I think the price is irrelevant. Definitely, retail came back. And also retail came to meme coins. I mean, retail maybe did not come back in such a scale that we would have loved to see. But also, if you have a look into my views, for example, I mean, definitely, I mean, I would love to have seen another leg to the upside and more views, right? But I mean, if you zoom out, this was definitely a peak right over here, which was literally in July. which was literally the top, right? For Ethereum, for Bitcoin, pretty close. So yeah. That's great advice. Yeah, just stick around, man. I live here. Great. Great, man. How do you like it in Abu Dhabi? How do you like it over there? I mean, it's a little bit more chill and quiet and relaxed in Abu Dhabi com- uh, compared to Dubai. Dubai is a little bit more hectic, more going on, you know. Um, the fair value gap at a price keeps just flying through every couple of days. What do you mean? Uh, I mean, I myself am not trading with fair value gaps. I just maybe for stocks and for forex it might be helpful. For crypto, I have not found it to be helpful. I found it to be more like commercial. Maybe fair value gaps do work for like a day trading strategy, but for me, I'm more having to look into a daily time frame or weekly time frame. Just admit it's over. No need for drama. What do you mean? I don't think you have been watching my channel, my man, for a very long time. So make sure to watch my channel, and then you know exactly what I think about the market. So in 5 minutes we will see the data. Let me have a look into some text, and then after that, I'll have a summary. All right, all right. So just 4 minutes time. Let me have a look into one more question. I always watch your live stream. So you know probably that I like to have some dinner before the stream. Been here for 6 years. Nice, man. Yeah, I live in Dubai. Anyways, so 4 minutes left. Now, what I want you to do is a few things. Now, in the beginning of the stream, I went into all of the reasons why this inflation or PCE data we will have a look into soon will be very important. And it will be roughly about inflation, right? Inflation numbers. We want inflation to go lower, okay, because that would set the Fed up for a perfect recipe to go ahead and cut the interest rates even more, is also what the markets really want at the moment. So, a lower PCE price index is going to be more bullish. So, lower than 2.8%, it's going to be bullish. Now, how can you be getting the data the quickest? Because that will be very important. Well, obviously, the first thing, which is already a given, will be that on the minute candles, it will already be displayed. I mean, there are huge bots trading this data. So, yeah, you can never be faster than all of these bots, but you can still scalp a bit. You can still get in on some price action, right? If you are early to know the data, the actual data. I mean, if it's extraordinary, you can easily still make a move on it, you know? So, how can you know the data? Well, you should be following a few guys over on X. First of all, you should follow 3 news feeds. Or, by the way, first of all, and turn on your notifications for these accounts. And you should follow as many accounts as possible. Turn on your notifications, and the first one that will post it, well, there you have it. You have it first, right? But obviously, also follow me. I'm also ready to be posting it as soon as possible. So, 3 news feeds. On top of that, a zoomer fight. On top of that, and that's basically it. That's basically it. Sorry, no. The most important one, financial juice. So also follow him, turn on your notifications, and there you go. Then turn on your notifications on your phone, go to the following tab, refresh your following tab, and you'll get to know the data as soon as possible. Quickest. That's the quickest way how to do it. And then again, I would say anything below 2.8 is going to be bullish. Anything above 2.8, I would consider more bearish. So let's have a look onto the 2-bit chart and let's open up the notifications. Let's have a look into it live. What is going to be happening? It's going to be pretty exciting. Let's have a look into some volatility. Some volatility live. Just a few seconds left. Just a few seconds left. There we go. 7 p.m. Dubai time. Let's have a look into the data. Waiting. Very late. Oh, there we go. 2.9. Expected was actually 2.8, so this is wrong over here. So it came in as expected. Yeah, we dump anyway, probably. Oh, we pump actually. So what's the point of this? Well, I just explained in the beginning of the stream, and also just now. It's going to be important for macroeconomics. Ash actually posted before me. Oh, it was actually 2.9%. Then this website had it wrong. Okay, well, interesting. So expected was 2.9%. So that's bullish, right? Because it came in lower than expectations, but not massively. It's not massively, okay. For core PCE, it was 2.9% expected. And for regular, it was 2.8%. I mean, no, it's not really a pump. I mean, it's like a $200 pump. So yeah, let's see. I mean, this will be increasing or shifting. The probability is just slightly, not by much. I mean, it's not a huge difference, right? Market already kind of expected it. It's not a huge difference, but still cool that it's at least somewhat bullish. Had it a little bit higher. Let's go. Let's see. Bit of a bounce. Yeah, nothing much. Okay, well. 5K views in 2 minutes. Crazy. Okay. That's crazy. So yeah, guys, there you have it. The data. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's hold 90K until the weekend. Yeah. So obviously, after this night, we will be breaking into another weekend. So yeah, that will be pretty interesting. Probably low volatility again. Let's see. Probably low volatility again. No, but again, like I've shared in the beginning of the stream and just a few moments ago, this this is bullish. I mean, this is bullish, but it's not like a huge difference. But like macroeconomics and like these small numbers, small changes, they really do matter, you know. But it's just more of a confirmation that it's gonna be bullish, in my personal opinion. So that's what we like and love to see. Um, so let's wait and see. Maybe we are indeed gonna be seeing our very nice recovery rally. Let me know, guys. What do you guys actually think? Do you actually think we are gonna be seeing this recovery rally, or do you think we're indeed gonna be headed straight down, or do you guys think, oh, we are gonna extend the bull market? Let's actually make a quick poll about it. Start a poll. What's next for Bitcoin? Um, extend the market, early rally, or straight down? Let's have a look. What you guys think? Are you still friends with Powell? Mr. Crypto, will he come on the live stream? I mean, during the next FOMC meeting, for sure, he will come on the live stream in just 5 days' time. I do think he's gonna be telling me some inside info, so make sure to tune in 5 days' time. Because yes, I am still very close friends with him. He is the man. Smart money shorting the fake rip. I mean, are they? I'm not too sure about that. We want cheap Bitcoin. Yes, we want cheap Bitcoin. No pumps, please. Go to the downside. No, I'm kidding. Pump is very nice. Pump is very nice. The pump is a trap. Let's see. I mean, let's see. Could be bullish. Let's go. Why you don't have any trade open? Because I'm still waiting right now for my next trade. Still waiting, right? Game plan is as follows. Smash the likes, fam. Yeah, for sure. Smash up the likes. No, but as follows. Like either we grab the lows, interested in a long there, or we go to this level of resistance here, and we short from there. So, but I will need to wait for these levels to get reached, and I will need to wait for the right triggers and confirmations. So it will still take a little bit of time. But like I've said, if you want to be updated about that, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, join the Platinum groups, and also trade over on 2bit. Trade over 2bit. I hope we can pump back to 93.5 okay, and close there. That's a big pump. Yeah, just a few percent. I mean, it's doable, right? It's doable back to 93.5. It is doable. So yeah, smash the like buttons, please. 31 likes, 70 people watching. Can easily smash it up. I hope we can stay and close there. Yeah, Primo bearish, Ultimo bullish. So let's have a look into the results for now. I mean, it's very split up. Very split up. which is crazy. I think the market is more uncertain than ever before. I mean, previously it was just very, very simple for me. I had no reason to be bearish in the past, and I just was bullish, you know. And then still, maybe other people were uncertain, right? I'm not even uncertain myself right now. I have a clear overview of what I expect for the markets, right? But I do think that the general belief from all of the people in the crypto market right now is uncertainty. They just do not know. They just have no idea. They're like chickens running around, right, without their head. Like, what's going on here? But like, for us, we know, you know. Bitcoin reacted well to the news. Yeah, kinda. We saw a bit of a bump, but I mean, it's not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, it's bullish. I mean, and we're also seeing a bit of a bounce now, right? Is it really because of the news, or is it just a nice bounce for Bitcoin? Not sure, but 1% bounce, I'll take it. We need to break somewhat of a local downtrend over here. Let's see about that. That would be super bullish. Russell 2000 looks very close to breaking out. Let's have a look into the Russell 2000. Oh, yeah. That's crazy. That is crazy. S&P is pumping. I mean, that is what I do will expect. That stocks can easily continue even higher, but I do think that Bitcoin will be performing a little bit rather weaker than the stock market. Right? That's what I've been expecting. So you want to do some TA on Tesla? Let's have a look into some Tesla. And I should have bought more. I just did a very, very small position. But yeah, it looks like a parabola, man. Looks like a parabola over here. Just like Bitcoin has been doing. Looks like something like this. And then arguably we have seen the same thing right over here, right? And we're just in another cycle now, kind of. It's kind of interesting because this was arguably the first cycle, right? 2,400 days. Right now, 2,400 days. Maybe we're headed into another cycle. Maybe we are. It's kind of interesting how this also works on Tesla. But as long as the fundamentals company are still increasing, which I do believe they are, I do think that we are about to see a big breakout here. Could easily see a big, big. I mean, the chart is setting itself up in the right way. Maybe a bit of consolidation, but a big push, maybe to 600, around that level. Yeah, like 600. 600 would be a nice level. Watching out for. it's 1.272. Yep. So probably I would be expecting something like that, just based on the chart. Welcome to the channel, my man. Have a look into Sui. Thing is with Sui, I think because we might have entered from low to low. I mean, it depends, man. It depends. I mean, I have seen some guys saying this. Also, for example, Camel Finance is saying this. But why is it then that still, for Bitcoin at least, the 4-year cycle is also always working from low to high, and it's also always working 550 days after the Bitcoin halving? Why is that? Explain it. I mean, yeah, maybe official cycles maybe work from low to low, but Bitcoin halving cycles, for example, and now you can also have a look into other cycles like Tesla cycle. I don't know, right? It's just something I just noticed in the chart. But for Bitcoin, why I'm having a look into low to high, even though maybe official cycles should be from low to low, is because of the halving cycles. It's not because of the low to low cycle. It's because of the halving cycles, mathematics. It's supply and demand, right? That cause it to work. But Sui, yeah, I mean, if we have entered a bear market, I do not have much hope left. I mean, just go to the lows, see the bounce, go lower. You know, maybe next bull market, see that again. If the metrics still rise, right? Thing is about altcoins, in bear markets, they will still go down another 60 to 70% from this point, maybe even 80%. Most altcoins will not recover. They will only recover if they still have heavy development going on. If the on-chain metrics like volumes, daily transactions, and so etc. are still increasing, they might still recover, but otherwise they will not. How the 4-year cycle is void. It's completely different out there now. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is a huge debate, right? I'm just doing what for me is working, and I'm just sharing for me what I think about the market. I mean, all of these things, they're not exact. They're up for debate. I'm just sharing however I like it. But obviously, other people have their own opinion. And we can debate 4-year cycles, etc. And low to low, halving cycles, all of this. We can debate it for hours upon hours until end. But for me, this is just how I do it and why I found this to be working the right way. And if you say that the 4-year cycle is void, well, I kind of disagree in a sense, but I get where you're coming from because all of the Bitcoins are already kind of in circulation. More and more Bitcoins are already in circulation. So the halving effect is always diminishing, right? The halving effect is diminishing. It becomes less significant. And eventually, we will break free of the halving cycle. So the 4-year cycle that I'm talking about here. The halving cycle, we will break free of it eventually. Because the effect is diminishing, like I've said, right? But is that going to be now? That's the question. 4-year cycle is void, or the halving cycle is void. Well, I would not say that. Okay, I would still stick with history until proven otherwise. That is usually always the best strategy and the best way to go with markets. It's always best to have a look into history, what has happened in the past, and then base the past data, apply that on the future, onto now, right? Look at some similarities, and then go off of that. And obviously, you need invalidations. You need levels where you will say, okay, yeah, it might be at these levels, I might be wrong. These narratives could play out, and I might be wrong. Obviously, it's not set in stone that we need to repeat history again. Obviously not. Like I've said, the halving effect becomes diminishing. But I will still have a look into it right now because history has shown its significance. And I will still have a look into it and hold it into a pretty high regard until I'm proven otherwise, until it's invalidated. And it's not invalidated yet right now. So why shouldn't I have a look into it now? That is a thing for me. And also, but it's not guaranteed the previous cycles match well with the business cycle, as I understand. Now we're in a bit of a slip. Yeah, let's see how it will play out. 100%. 100%. 4-year cycles only invalid once we reach Bitcoin Automi this or next year. Yes and no. I mean, you can still have deviations of a cycle. I mean, it's not invalidated if we just break the Automi. I mean, it's like trading and these things, investing, etc. They're so advanced, right? It's not a yes or no. It's not black or white. It's not so easy. You can easily still reach new automize, grab the highs again, then go to the downside again, and then a 4-year cycle is still in effect, but this was just a deviation, right? Now, where the 4-year cycle will or halving effect, halving cycle, should I say, because I want to say it proper, when it's really invalidated, in my opinion, would be if we really would continue the bear market like a long way, right? A long way. Then we will say, okay, yeah, we're not in a 4-year cycle, or not in a halving cycle anymore. That is that, yeah, in my opinion, I do think so too. Where have you go today's show, please? You can go back to the live stream. You can watch everything back. But basically, I'm awaiting 2 scenarios for Bitcoin right now. Either a pump to this resistance, I'm interested in a short, or a pump back to this level of support, I'm interested in a long. For the right triggers, obviously. I'm not blindly shorting or longing. I mean, it's not that, man. It's not that, but I do not think it will be recovering easily. Do you have a signal group? Well, it's not really a signal group. It's like a platinum group, trading group, where I share more alpha in, which you should definitely be checking out. Also, this Sunday, I'll be doing another live stream. So make sure to join this platinum group with the first link down below. And also start trading over 2bit because they have some big bonuses right now available. My next trade will be placed over on 2bit. So if you want to join me, this market is kind of crazy. We've been listening to a lot of buys and price keeps tanking. The audio money. What do you mean? I don't get it. The risk to reward on Polkadot is very interesting. I mean, yeah, if it plays out, but man, the team is just not that active anymore. I'm not sure what they're doing. You should have a look into the fundamentals, into the team, etc. Right? I didn't do enough research to be giving a proper answer on that for Polkadot, this specific coin. Thanks for your update. Thanks for your time today, and been watching you for a couple of years now. That's amazing. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend for yourself as well, man. Have a great weekend. I mean, it's already Friday. So that's amazing. Rates are Amen. Rates are lower than expected. Interest rates are going down. Yeah, interest rates are going down. Which scenario is more likely? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. I will just react on what the price action will give me. I'll just react. All risk, no reward. Yeah, but anyways, guys, with that being said, I'll be stopping the live stream for today. It was an absolute pleasure to be doing a great live stream again today. I forgot to ask, where's the accent from? It's from the Netherlands. It's a Dutch accent. No, but yeah, make sure to check out all of the links down below if you're interested in trading. Join the group and also claim your bonus over here. And yeah, claim your bonus over on 2bit. And with that being said, of course, in 5 days' time, we will have the FOMC meeting. So that one will be pretty important to be watching as well. We are going to be streaming it live. Again, we will be watching it live. So make sure to tune in this in 5 days. So tune in the other live stream. Why Dubai, not Monaco? I mean, we will get into this in another live stream. Anyways, with that being said, guys, it was absolutely amazing. I'll see you guys in another live stream later.